All right, pardon the mess. I'm gonna do a bit of a presentation here, I guess, of how to reassemble, also disassemble, I suppose, but assemble and disassemble a William S. Boucher Jr. banjo of Baltimore, Maryland. This banjo would have been made around 1840. This is a collector's instrument that he put it in my care to get it back to playing ability. So when he brought it to me, it was, I mean, it's in pretty decent shape, especially for the age, but it was very dirty and, no strings, and the tuners were a bit messed up and stuff, so they weren't original. Anyway, so you may have seen videos online, maybe of Clifton Hicks or someone else, but this is how these banjos are assembled. It's pretty much just 3 pieces. It's your neck, your rim, and then this pin right here that I don't have all the way in yet. So it just goes in a hole right here in the dowel. So that would come out. It's literally just a bent nail. And then just slips through here. Another really cool thing about this is it's all matching, but this is kind of a small Boucher. This is only a 10.5-inch rim. Measured it. It's got a little writing in the head there. It says, bought 1876 in Philadelphia, in some cursive pencil writing. I don't know when that was actually written. Anyway, but you can see all of the handmade hardware on this, and it's all original. There's a ton of original paint on this instrument, which is, a lot of them don't have that. And I'm not gonna say this is the original head, but it's pretty darn old. I mean, look how much use that has, and you can see where it's very dry rotted along the flesh hoop there. Bit of rust right here, but it's not like rotting rust. It's just kind of surface stuff. These are very robust hooks and wing nuts that are on there. Apparently those were made by hand also in Boucher's factory, or Boucher, however you want to pronounce it. And they're tight, unlike mine, which is actually kind of loose. I have a full size Boucher. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is put this back together. So I've done a little work already. I'll set that over here for a moment, and I'm gonna show you guys this. It actually has a marking in here. It says, I don't know if you can see it, it says XI or IX. Roman numerals can tend to be reversible like that if you turn them upside down or right side up. That same matching number is on the top of the dowel stick here. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's an IX or XI. And pretty typical of Boucher, the off-center dowel, the tailpiece hanger, 2 pieces on the heel here. There's the logo, the stamp. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. And this is a shorter neck, so it's not the double OG, it's just a single OG, as they call it. And then classic scroll style peg head. One difference I will say is this peg head, the angle of that is a bit more steep than mine. I was told by, I believe it was Hank Schwartz, that angle can, it may be a sign of the age when it was manufactured. This might be a slightly newer one, so maybe towards 1850, but there's really nothing definitive to tell. The other thing I noticed that's different, mine, the 5th string peg goes straight through. You've seen mine on Clifton Hicks's channel, but my 5th peg goes straight through. This one is at an angle. I don't know if you can see that, but it's angled outward to help prevent that 4th string from making contact here. And you can also see it's angled forward a bit. It's angled forward, angled that way to the side. Same sort of planed peg head here too, all straight. I'll say overall this neck is a bit thicker than mine, just slightly. This rim, however, is certainly thicker than mine. On mine, this is like, I think it was about 10 millimeters thick. It's almost a centimeter, whereas mine is 6 mil. And I can bring this up and show you. This is my Boucher. Gives you sort of a size comparison. Just how much, longer this thing is, bigger. But you can also see how much thinner that rim is. It's like he learned some lessons to say, oh, maybe it's a little more robust if I build it thicker. Even his hooks and nuts and all that stuff, they're all thicker than mine on his instrument. So I'm a bit jealous of it, but good buy on his part. Beautiful, beautiful original instrument. Anyway, I am going to, I'll also show you this. This is a tailpiece that I made. It looks a lot like the one that you just saw in there. I made this out of some leftover cherry that I had. Honestly, if I don't get stuff in the frame, that's, I'm not the best photographer. So hopefully you guys can see that. And, I oiled it, stained it, and lacquered it just for strength or just for seal and, longevity. So I'm gonna assemble this thing now. I think I wanted it to go, we're gonna go, that's the top. All right, so step one, you put the neck in. Slide right through. Should be a straight fit there. And then again, the only thing bracing this neck, and I've done this on mine, but mine fits a lot looser, is this little nail cotter piece, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna have to hammer this in. So, here goes nothing, right? I'll see if I can wiggle it in there, but I think I'm only gonna be able to go so far. I will say, when I was doing the head on my Boucher, I started out being super careful, and then I was not able to get that head on, and over time I just realized it's actually a pretty well built instrument. So what I'm doing is I'm just using a little shaft here to nail this cotter pin in. There we go. It's going in nicely now. Perfect. So that's your cotter pin in the dowel stick. So the only thing is it's still kind of loose, so I may actually end up sticking something, just some thin piece of wood in there to wedge that, because it's not super tight. But hell, maybe I shouldn't have nailed it all the way through. But that's how it came. It was nailed all the way into this dowel stick. So if I pull it up a little bit, it's that's a little more secure. So yeah, I might be just sticking a wedge in there at some point. We'll see how wobbly this neck is. Anyway, that's typically how they would go together. So as you can see, that neck is a little wobbly on there, but it fits. Fits great. And the dowel goes right through, right there. So the next thing we'll do is attach our tailpiece. So Cliff was kind enough to give me this to make some tailpiece to use as tailpiece string. This is gut. This is gut tennis racket string for stringing up your tennis racket. So what I'll do is send it through and then tie it to this this dowel down here. I'll put a pretty decent length cord there. Grab a set of scissors I've got right over here. Stay there. I'll be right back. Where the hell are the scissors? Oh, yeah, there. Put them under a bag here. Sorry about that. All right. Should have had them prepared already. I'm not great at doing videos. It was never I never had a huge interest in it, so pardon my amateur, the amateur hour here. So what we'll do is, since I want this to be the top of my tailpiece, I'm gonna string this through here. That's what these two holes are for. Just like that. And I'm going to tie it to this dowel, to the dowel stick here. And that'll also just help create some tension to help hold that neck steady. So I'm just gonna tie a double knot right now because this is mega stiff. It's also it's really close to the head here. Actually, that worked out. So it looped itself back over the dowel. I'm just gonna tie another knot. Because this will almost certainly stretch. I can guarantee that. So now, and I'll trim this of course, but now we have our dowel, our tailpiece connected to our dowel here. I'm doing it a lot tighter than the one that's on mine. I'm probably going to be redoing mine soon, and I'm going to make that that tailpiece sit a lot closer to the rim like this. So, you know, looking forward to that, of course. All right. So, and because this is a smaller head, I do want the tailpiece to sit back a little bit further. And then from there, we are fairly set. I've got a bridge here that I made to go on this. The problem is it actually does not match those, so I'm gonna have to use a wider bridge that I've made. Give me just a moment. We're gonna start with this one. This is another bridge. It's very similar to that, but it's just slightly wider. Finger spacing. So I believe, let's set that down. Usually the way that I do this is the flat, if the bridge has a flat to it, the flat goes to the back. The flat faces that tailpiece. So this, as you can see here, this actually matches the position of the holes. I don't know if that's in the picture there, but this actually matches the holes better. Whereas this tailpiece, or this bridge, those slots they're actually thinner than the positions on the tailpiece, so we don't want that. You want it to be the same or wider. Typically on minstrel banjos, you want it to be pretty close to the same width from the tailpiece. So, and I'm stringing this up with Gamut Classic Academy strings for banjo, and they actually they give them to you in the exact order here. So, oh, we have a problem, but no big deal. What I'll do is I'll string one of these up just so you can see how I do it, but I actually have to drill a hole in that tuning peg and in that tuning peg, because these are tuning pegs for a viola. They fit the hole that's on here. It's the viola tuning pegs. Violin tuning pegs are too small. And yeah, anyway, I'm just gonna I'll do the third string. It's right in the middle. It'll be the easiest. So what I use, and I hope I can remember how to do it, is I'm going to do a Hansen knot. This is a really cool knot. I hope I can do it right. And actually, Gamut gives you a a guide to how to tie the strings on the back here. But I'm gonna use my own technique, and that's the Hansen knot. So you come over here. You actually go. Yeah, you come over the front. You basically do your typical loop swoop pull knot like you did as a kid. Then you come back through and in behind, so you're making basically a second loop right here. So you go back through your hole here and you go behind this string, and then you bring this back through the front, or no. Do you go? I think you bring it through the front. And then that might be backwards. So that's embarrassing, of course, but who cares? No, actually, I think that's right. So then, yeah, you go back through, and what that does is it creates this loop here, and that is your working loop. So I have to do that through the hole, of course. So let me undo that. So you do this part of your knot, and then you send it through the hole, your working loop as they would call it. I am no knot aficionado. I am a complete amateur. I did not do Boy Scouts as a kid. Gasp. But whatever. I'm sure that has shamed my father to no end. But who cares? I'm not here for his approval. I can damn sure play a banjo better than he can. So yeah, we'll go back up through. Nope, that was wrong. So you go in the front, and then we'll go like this, and then back through the middle, through the front here. All right, and then we cinch all that down, attempting to not make this loop too long. So you can sort of work it by, making that first main knot bigger and smaller, and then working the rest of the string through. I like the Hansen knot because it's like it looks nice, and it is very secure once you've got it tied. It's a very secure knot. Apparently I think they use it in like for mooring boats on at a dock. You make this knot and then you just loop it right over something, and they're super strong knots. A little harder to do with a gut string. I've actually never really done this with gut strings before. My Boucher came with gut strings, so this is a new experience for me. Thank you for joining. So I've got to pull all that through. Anyway, yeah, get that going there, and then you just pull it. No matter how hard you pull, I can give you a showing here. No matter how hard you pull on that Hansen knot, it will not come undone. It can't, just because of the nature of it looping back over itself. Anyway, and then to do it into the tuner here, super easy. You just stick it through the hole, and I believe in this one we turn I'm looking at mine over there. Yeah, we go this way with it because this isn't, you know, this doesn't look like your typical peg head. It's a little bit different. And she will sit. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to widen this nut a little bit, but I can do that later. I've got a file. I'll use a file and just widen the nut a tad. And what I do here is you send it through the hole. I just basically wrap it back over itself like this. Pull tight. You can even wrap it over twice if you want to, but really not necessary with a gut string. And then you just twist. I'm gonna push down so that the string trends downward and it'll hold itself downward. And then see there? It cannot come undone because it is held to itself. All right, and that is how you service an 1840s banjo. You don't get to say that every day, do you? All right, well, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll edit this down, or maybe it's such a bad video that nobody can see anything. We'll do one more look here. This is a, I'm gonna say circa 1850, a small Boucher. So now that I've got it kind of together, I'll hold it up next to mine. Mine is a full-size double OG. And you can see that sort of, I'm not sure if you can see it all, but I'll hold it sideways even, but just that size difference between these two. It's pretty substantial, you know? Anyway, y'all keep picking out there and keep looking for those antique banjos. And yeah, take it easy.